All right, we'll get you more of what's happening in Bihar, but breaking news now coming in, extremely important in the climate of India-China standoff. Chinese incursion by Chinese troops is now being reported into the Barahoti area of the Chamoli district in Uttarakhand. This is a disputed pocket that has been mutually agreed upon, and all of this is happening even as the Indian NSA is in China, has met his counterpart, has also met the Chinese president to try and resolve this latest standoff. I have with me our associate editor, Aditya Rajkol, joining us over the phone line. Aditya, all right, we have Abhishek Kapoor joining us over the phone line, our executive editor. Abhishek, just put this in context for us. Another incursion being reported. The Indian side definitely is calling this an incursion even as Doval is in China.
Shivani, this seems to be a tease from the Chinese side. It happened on the eve of NSA Ajit Doval's visit to China. Of course, he's back, but this happened on 26th of July is what we are hearing. This is a tri-junction of, from our side, the three states of UP, Uttarakhand and Himachal. This is that sector essentially. And Barahoti is an area which had disputed antecedents, but mutually agreed that both the sides will not go in. In fact, there was an incursion in 2016 as well, where it was believed that a Chinese aircraft had flown over the area. But this time it seems planned or intended on the eve of NSA Doval's visit. And of course, that visit was for BRICS NSA meet in the backdrop of the ongoing Doklam affair. So it seems the Chinese belligerence, very calibrated Chinese belligerence, when it was believed that NSA would be talking to his counterpart bilateral, in fact, had happened, and all attempt was made by the Indian side to see the Chinese reason as to why a step was taken in the Doklam area to take care of India's interests. The Chinese essentially in a tease getting into Barahoti, and we are told that they spent about an hour there, some soldiers, and went back. So it's not that it's an ongoing thing. They came in, went back. It's about 80 square kilometer area, Barahoti sector, which is disputed, but which is not like mad. There are no outposts there, and maybe taking benefit of that. And as a poke, perhaps the Chinese did this.
Our sources are confirming, Abhishek, from the Indian side that this incursion did in fact happen, that the Chinese came into the Indian territory about 9 a.m. On the eve of Doval's visit to China, up to about 1 kilometer. And as you mentioned, they went back. So this obviously seems like an attempt to aggravate the situation, to try to goad the Indian side into some sort of a response, or, just try to escalate the issue.
See, Shivani, Chinese have taken a very stringent position so far as the Doklam Plateau issue goes, and they believe that India has crossed into their territory, which is not the case. It's Bhutanese territory. India has also stated its position, but Chinese have really taken badly to it. And maybe just on the eve of NSA's visit, they perhaps tried to poke India further. The fact remains that India has been very reasonable yet firm on the ground, and it seems that while the Doklam issue will continue, this was essentially done to kind of test the waters ahead of the bilateral that happened between the Indian NSA and its Chinese counterpart.
Right. Certainly an act of provocation on the part of the Chinese. Snehesh is also joining us. Snehesh, our deputy editor, bringing us more details over this entire incident that is being reported belatedly but has been confirmed by sources on the Indian side now. Snehesh, put this in perspective. Just what are the Chinese up to when it comes to the India-China border?
Particular incident took place in the Barahoti area in Uttarakhand. Now, this is an area which is a completely demilitarized zone in the sense that there would be no presence of the Chinese military as well as the Indian military. This is a mutually agreed disputed part. So usually what happens is that our Indian troops, which are the ITBP, we should mention that there's not the army which is posted there. If the area comes under the control of the ITBP, we do frequent patrols in that area just to see whether the Chinese are there, and the same thing is done by the Chinese. So on the 27th, what we've learned so far is that the Chinese, the PLA personnel entered into this area about over 500 meters into what is supposed to be what is said to be the Indian territory, and they tried to camp there, which were challenged by the Indian security officials. And in about there was a small standoff
Right.
For about 2 hours, after which the Chinese went back to their area. This happened on the 27th of July, on a day when the NSA Ajit Doval was in China for the BRICS NSA meeting.